everyone, welcome to GameGorgon. My name's Indigo.
And I'm Krug!
And today we're going to be talking about the rage monster themselves, the Barbarian.
I hurt my throat.
Krug's not going to speak for the rest of this video, apparently. Like we did with the Alchemist, you're going to get a plethora of things that you're going to be trained in. All of that is up on the screen right now. Was there anything specific you wanted to say? Shut the fuck up.
The Barbarian is going to have the ability to use a feature called Rage. When you rage, you're going to get con plus your level temporary hit points.
Also, melee and unarmed attacks are going to get an additional 2 damage.
Nice.
Unless they're agile weapons or attacks, then it's only going to get a +1, basically.
I thought it was going to be 0, but
No.
Cool. Those are the benefits of rage so far. It also has some drawbacks. Because you're like blindly raging and just like you have your single focus is on killing whatever it is that you're fighting. You can't use concentration.
Unless that concentration thing has the rage trait.
Right.
It does also say that you can use the seek action. I think that has to do with the fact that your rage will stop happening if you can't perceive any enemies.
Right.
So it's not just like, oh, well, a stealth character can basically just stealth, wait until you can't be seen, and then your rage is done.
Right.
You can't get back into a rage until a minute after a rage ends.
Right. Theoretically, that's still a good approach for a stealth character, but it's not a hard end to a rage because you can counter it by finding them.
Yeah.
It's just now you're doing a contested roll, which is totally reasonable.
The other ways that you can end a rage if you're unconscious.
Reasonable. I've never been mad whilst asleep.
But you can't leave rage willingly.
I buy that like thematically. That you literally, once you're in this place, you can't stop being in this place until you're done, until nothing is making you upset anymore.
Now, when you end your rage, or when rage ends,
rage ends itself.
You lose any remaining temporary hit points that you have.
Yes.
And you lose all of the benefits of rage as well.
Of course. Yeah. This isn't all that rage does.
No.
As you evolve this character, rage will evolve too, and it becomes a fucking thing to be reckoned with.
Rage actually takes an additional benefit based off of the instinct that you choose.
Oh, what are instincts?
Your character's subgenre of Barbarian. Now, there are 5 instincts within the Barbarian. We're going to actually go over one of them at the very end because I think it's important to kind of go over what you're gaining.
What the structure is.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
The instinct options you have are as follows: Animal, Dragon, Fury, Giant, and Spirit.
We're going to be going over Giant at the end, but for now, we're going to talk about the rest of the Barbarian features. At level 1, you're going to get a Barbarian feat.
We'll be going over some of the Barbarian feats when we start going into builds for the Barbarian, where we're going to be showing you some of the ones that we find are better or which ones work really well for different kind of styles of the Barbarian. But there's so many to choose from, it doesn't make sense for us to go through all of them unless we want this video to be 4 hours.
None of you would watch the whole video, I promise. At second level and every 2 levels thereafter, you're also going to be getting a skill feat. We're going to be going over skill feats in a separate video. Maybe one for each skill, maybe during the builds, maybe a little bit of both. We'll see what happens. If you have a suggestion, you know what to do with your keyboard.
3rd level, you're actually going to be gaining a Barbarian
something fun.
Yeah, deny advantage. This basically is like, yo, hey, roguey character, you can go somewhere else because it's not here. You aren't going to be flat-footed to hidden, undetected, or flanking creatures of your level or lower, but those creatures can help flank their allies.
As long as one person involved in the flank is above your level, you're considered flanked.
Just for that
one person.
Exactly.
Okay. At 3rd level and every 4th levels thereafter, you're going to get a general feat. Also at 3rd level, you're going to gain a skill increase. At 5th level, you get brutality. For simple, martial, and unarmed strikes, you're going to increase your proficiency to expert. You're also going to get the critical specialization effects for melee attacks.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
That's specifically when you're raging. A lot of the weapons have a lot more features than most people are used to. Like, they're like, oh,
people don't read the traits.
Exactly. At level 7, you're going to get Juggernaut, which increase your proficiency to expert on your fortitude saves, and all successes are considered to be critical successes for those fortitude saves.
Nice. At level 7, you're going to get weapon specialization. This is going to allow you to do 2 extra damage. That's just 2 flat damage with weapons with which you have expert training. And then when you get master training, it's going to increase to 3 damage, and legendary training 4 damage.
Makes sense for it to be at a lower level, like level 7, versus the alchemist who has this, but in a
higher
much
level.
Exactly. Level 9, you're going to get lightning reflexes. Your reflex proficiency increases to expert.
At 9th level, you're going to get raging resistance. This is a good example of rage evolving over time. You're going to get 3 plus your con modifier resistance to something based on your instinct. When we talk about the giant a little bit later, we're gonna, at level 9, be able to see exactly what resistance we do get. At level 11, you're gonna get Mighty Rage. Oh, damn. Mighty Rage is gonna allow you to use an action with the Rage trait after you use the Rage action. There's tons of feats that give you actions that have the Rage trait.
Yes.
You can Rage, and then for a free action, use that feature that you got. Now you can also increase the amount of actions it costs for you to rage by 1, making it a total of 2. That allows you to use a rage action that costs 2 actions.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And then have 1 action left over to do something with, like attack.
At level 13, you're going to get Greater Juggernauts. Fortitude saves now increase to legendary, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You treat critical failures as if they were just failures,
right,
which is exciting.
Not being able to critically fail something, by the way, in this game is extraordinarily overpowered. Like, you can't roll a natural 1.
And then not only that, when you do fail a fort save that takes damage or causes you to take damage, you only take half of it. That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Mind you, you're waiting until level 13 to get this.
Yeah.
What's the chance of you failing a fortitude save at that point?
Greater weapon specialization is the same as weapon specialization, except for the numbers are all doubled.
At level 15, you're going to get Indomitable Will, where you're going to make your will saves are going to now be expert in proficiency, and you're going to be treating all successes as if they were critical successes.
At level 17, you get heightened senses. Your perception is now master. Cool.
At level 17, you're going to get Quick Rage, which is great because if you spend an entire round not raging, you can then get back into rage without having to wait the minute. So that's really nice. I mean, mind you, this is level 17.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's strong, but level 17 strong. I think at level 17, there's a lot more situations where enemies can evade you for an amount of time that makes your rage fall off. And then you will need to get back into rage because your character is built around being in rage. So this is just like, oh yeah, you can hide and I won't be in rage until we start combat again. At 19th level, you get Armor Fury. Light, medium, and unarmored proficiency go up to master.
At level 19, you're going to get Devastator. Barbarian DCs increase to mastery. You actually ignore 10 points of a creature's physical damage reduction. So if it's bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing, creatures having a resistance is definitely going to be there. But the fact is that you're probably already dealing a butt ton of damage. And so resistance is already there and you're just like, yeah, this is only an annoyance. But the fact that you're like, oh, by the way, let's just reduce that.
Yeah, it's fine. I just always prefer something that I can choose or that I can choose when to use.
So why don't we go into things that you can choose, because now that we've gone through the entire class, we actually can go back and talk about the decision that you made at level 1, which was your instinct.
Yeah, we picked Giant as our instinct, which means that we are going to get a lot of cool stuff that has to do with hurting others.
First thing is actually your Anathema, which is like Anathema. We're gonna go over the anthem.
We're not talking about that video
We're
game.
Taking our hats off, we're putting it over our hearts.
You're actually wearing a hat.
I know, I understand. Okay, yeah. Hey, let's That's where my power is.
He has a cone. Think of it as a restriction that has the same gravitas as like a paladin's oath. Sorry, a champion's oath. Whoa.
The example for the giant is you will not fail to face a challenge of strength.
You don't have to be like a jerk about it. You're not raging when this happens. I mean, you might be. You're not inherently enraged while this happens. You could just be like, yeah, let's go. You don't have to be dumb. You don't have to be upset. You don't have to be aggressive. You just have to accept.
Yeah.
And you can roleplay it however you want, however makes sense for your character.
If you're at the carnival, you're definitely going to be taking the hammer and trying to ring the bell.
Yep. You're going to be succeeding because that's made for level 0 townspeople to get close to succeeding, but not, and your level whatever.
Yeah.
And that means you're going to succeed almost certainly.
Exactly.
Your instinct ability is going to be Titan Mauler. This basically makes you a beefcake. You can use weapons built for a large creature, even if you're not a large creature. You just hold them because you're strong. While you're raging, your damage bonus is also going to increase from 2 to 6, which is great. That's a lot of flat damage. You're doing some characters die damage maximum, as flat damage before you roll, and then add whatever else you need to add. That's so cool. That's so much damage.
The negative to this, though, is that you're going to be gaining the condition of clumsy 1 whenever you're using that weapon.
Right.
If you are a large creature, you actually can use a weapon that is made for one size category above you.
Oh, okay.
The large is only for medium or small creatures.
Right. Your rage damage is actually going to go up even more.
When you get the weapon specializations, your damage is going to increase from 6 to 10.
Which is like...
Yeah.
But then it's going to increase from 10 to fucking 18.
Yeah. Like
when you get greater weapon specialization.
That's huge.
Bonkers flat damage.
You're going to be getting rage resistance later on, which you're going to be resistant to bludgeoning damage and your choice of cold, electricity, or fire damage. And that's based off of a giant.
Yeah, which giant you're emulating.
Yeah, I think this is really strong. I think this is a fun class. I think it's
murder. I know why you picked this, because it's literally just like, hello, would you like some extra damage? This restriction is, I don't think
very barbarian-y.
It's very barbarian-y, and I don't think it as actually going to get you into as much trouble as it could.
Yeah.
This isn't like, oh, you must always challenge people to a... No, you just have to accept challenges. So you don't have to initiate anything. If somebody challenges you, it's on them.
Yeah, we're going to go over the other instincts when we start doing build videos, because a lot of them are a lot more in-depth. This is one of the shorter of the 5. Fury's the shortest. This is the second shortest. But Animal is very long. It's got a bunch of different aspects to it. A lot of decisions that you have to make.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
We're not trying to be like, it's exhausting. Like, it's
No.
cool.
I just felt that this video was probably already long enough and we didn't need to extend it any further. That being said, this is going to be the end of the video. Go down in the comments and let us know what your thoughts about the Barbarian are.
Please.
While you're down there, make sure to hit the like button. That super helps the channel. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Don't hit the bell icon because it's pointless. And then go over to Twitter and talk to me. You can talk to me there at IndigoQT.
And you can talk to me on Twitter at QueueTimes. And you can talk to both of us at all these social media things down here. If you're really upset at your money, if it just makes you just rage, you can just send it to us at Patreon if you can. There's just no pressure, but like, it'd be nice. Thanks. Help us hit the GDP of your country.
Bye, everyone.